guys, welcome to Raw Customs. I'm your host, Pastor Polo, and on this episode, I'm going to be showing you how I made the Shield of Faith here. Now, I actually made this out of 1/4 inch Centra here. It's nice and rigid. Now, what Centra is a expanded PVC foam board. I actually only know that because I looked it up. A buddy of mine actually gave me this, and I just decided to use it on this project here. Now, one cool thing about this Centra is you're able to heat it up with the heat gun and actually twist and bend it, mold it. Once it cools, you're able to, it holds its shape and it's nice and rigid again. Great product for making costumes and weapons and stuff like that. I'll actually be doing some more projects with this down the road for sure. As far as the shield goes, now using this product here, the Centra, I was able to build something this size and actually not have to worry about it bending and warping or anything like that, having to do anything to stiffen it up. And one great thing about it is it's super nice and light, so it's something that'll be easy to carry around for a while. Versus the Captain America shield I built, you know, it's made out of steel. It's at least 2 or 3 times more heavy than this is, guys. So I actually recommend this product quite a bit for costumes or making props. Now, I did look around to see if I could find this actually anywhere off the shelves. I couldn't find anything at Home Depot, Lowe's, or anything like that. The only place I could find it is actually online. The good news is it's relatively inexpensive, so if it's something you'd like to try out and use in one of your projects, go ahead and look online and order you up a sheet. Well, alright guys, let's get to the build. Check it out. This is how I did it. I started by making a circle 2 foot 5 inches in diameter. Then that piece was cut out using a jigsaw. After that piece was cut out, I marked the line across the center, and 9.5 inch circles were laid out on each end. Then the pieces were cut out. A heat gun was used to heat the center area to allow me to bow the shield. Next, the edge of the shield was traced onto a new sheet. Then I laid out marks 2 inches down from the line that was traced and drew in my line by connecting the dots. Back to the jigsaw to cut out the piece. Once the piece was cut out, I moved over to the belt sander to clean up the edges. Once the edges were cleaned up, I laid the piece back in place and traced out the inside edge. Contact cement was added to the back side of the piece and to the edge of the shield where I had marked. The overlay was then glued into place. I used spring clamps to hold it in place and to also ensure a good bond. Once the glue had set, I moved back over to the belt sander to even up the edges, making everything nice and flush. Next, I cut out 2 rectangle pieces on the scroll saw. The edges were cleaned up on the belt sander. The rectangles were heated to allow them to be bent. They were laid on the back side of the shield till they cooled to hold their shape. Once I was happy with their position, I traced them out onto the back side of the shield. Next, I laid out my D-ring and drilled holes through the rectangle piece and the shield. A countersink bit was used on the front side of the shield to allow the bolts to lay flush. Contact cement was applied to the area I had traced out as well as to the back side of the rectangle. Then everything was laid in place, the D-rings installed, and everything tightened down. Cross templates were drawn up, then traced onto a new sheet of Centra. The pieces were cut out on a jigsaw. Once the pieces were cleaned up, they were heated up with the heat gun, laid on the shield, and allowed to cool to make sure they matched the contour of the shield. On the edge of the shield, I laid out marks every 2 inches. Then used a speed square off those marks to lay out my marks 1 inch in. The depth was set on the drill press and the holes drilled to create a nice indentation. After everything was glued in place and dried, I went around all the edges with painter's caulk and then smoothed everything out for a nice clean look. After everything was dry and the shield prepped, 2 coats of gold paint were applied. Black paint was dusted on just to kind of give it that bronze look. Then the shield was finished up with a little airbrushing. For the handle, I used an old belt. The belt was ran through the D-rings and then cut to length. Hot glue was used to glue the belt together and secure it in place. The buckle is left on the arm strap to allow it to be adjustable. Guys, there you go, the Shield of Faith all finished. Really happy with this project, the way it turned out. The Centra is an awesome product to use. Just elaborate on the bolts. Countersunk them down. Now those are countersunk so that the crosses would sit flush on top of them. Those are purposely designed to actually cover the heads of the screws to give a nice clean look when I was finished. Just to update you or let you know what I'm working on. Where'd it go? Here it is. I'm actually working on the leg armor. This will be the feet of readiness for the armor of God here. Now I'm actually basing them off the Batman costume, I believe, from Arkham. Think that's a real cool look. So those will be designed, painted up. I still got some more overlays work I'd like to do on it, make them look a little cooler and make them match the rest of the suit. So this will be coming up when I'm finished with that. I'm also working on the Halo helmet. This is already built, filmed, and I'm editing it as I have time to get around to it. But a lot of y'all have asked for this. So I've really spent some extra time on this trying to get the design right out of the Pepicure and come up with something that was basically easy to build. I built a few of them and they were actually a little difficult and weren't coming out right, but I think I got something that most of y'all could actually build once I put it out for you. Well, alright guys, as always, thanks for watching. God bless, and I'll see you on the next build.